can't set myself free.
You might think this episode isn't for you, but if you've ever looked back on someone you know, someone who changed slowly over time, laughed less, shrunk a little, and you found yourself thinking, they looked fine, probably just a rough patch. If it was really abuse, wouldn't they have said something? Then this is for you. Or if you're a person who ever said, I don't get why they didn't see the red flags, that would never happen to me. I would have put my foot down or walked out. Then you might be exactly who needs to hear this most. Because what you think you know about victims might be the very reason you've never truly understood what they were going through. Because the answer to those questions isn't what most people think, and neither is the question itself. So instead of asking, why did they stay? Maybe the better question is, what kind of person makes someone feel deeply loved while methodically breaking them down? Victims of pathological abuse don't end up there because they're naive, or broken, or weak. They end up there because they're strong, because they're the kind of people who believe in loyalty, in forgiveness, in love, in other people. And pathological abusers, whether they're narcissists, sociopaths, or psychopaths, spot that from a mile away. They don't look for damaged people. They look for people worth damaging, people whose strengths they can weaponize. And let's be clear, there's no type of person this happens to. Some victims had trauma in their past, some didn't. Some came from chaos, others from calm, loving homes. Some are therapists, or leaders, or artists, or stay-at-home parents. There's only one thing they all have in common. They were chosen, because pathological abuse isn't random. It's targeted. So why do victims stay? That's the question everyone asks. But the better question is, what did they go through before you started asking that? Because victims don't stay for fun. They stay because of how this abuse works. Pathological abuse doesn't always come with bruises, but it does come with damage, confusion, gaslighting, self-doubt, isolation, fear, and most of all, conditioning. The kind that rewires your nervous system so that love and fear start to feel the same. The kind that turns apologies into weapons. The kind that makes leaving feel like betraying something real, even when it never was. It starts slowly, subtly, strategically. They chip away at reality, just enough that victims begin to doubt what's real at all. They isolate them from people who notice too much. They love bomb, then pull away, drop love grenades, discard, then toss crumbs of warmth, just enough to keep the nervous system tethered to chaos. That's trauma bonding. And it's not codependency. It's not a lack of willpower. It's a response to calculated emotional warfare. And if a victim tries to leave, the abuser doesn't just let them walk away. They might future fake. I finally get it. I'm going to change. This time it's different. They might blame the victim for the entire thing. You gave up too easily. You always twist what I say. They might turn to therapy, not to heal, but to gather language, to flip the script, to make themselves look like they're the ones being mistreated. And when that doesn't work, they escalate their tactics. More gaslighting, more confusion, more manipulation, because control, not closure, is the end goal. Victims who leave often face retaliation, smear campaigns, custody threats, legal abuse, harassment, stalking, even digital surveillance. Some victims return, not out of choice or comfort, but because of hoovering, trauma bonding, betrayal blindness, emotional conditioning, and fear, obligation, and guilt. And if you think that sounds like a lot, it is. In fact, it's an understatement, because asking why did they stay or why did they go back deserves more than a soundbite. But if I had to give you the short answer, that's it. Others never get the chance to leave at all. This isn't drama. It's a war on the mind and body, and it often continues long after the abuser is gone. So if you've ever wondered why someone didn't just get out, or why they still talk about it, or why they don't seem healed, it's because survival isn't the end. It's the beginning of a different kind of battle. Victims deal with trauma bonding, betrayal blindness, cognitive dissonance. And for some, especially those targeted by sociopaths or psychopaths, they experience perspecticide, the slow, intentional dismantling of their ability to trust their own perspective. This is pathological abuse. It's not a rough patch. It's not a toxic ex. It's a strategy, but one that only works this precisely because of who they are. Narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths don't just follow a system. Their pathology drives it. And if we don't name it, we keep misreading it. We keep blaming the wrong person. Victims don't stay because they're weak. They stay because they were dismantled, and that takes time to recover from mentally, emotionally, and physically. So instead of asking, why did they stay? Maybe the better question is, What kind of person convinces someone they're loved while actively dismantling them? I'm Cindy Ann Pedersen, and this is Survivor Music. Let's name it one voice, one story, one song at a time.
It starts with love, a perfect disguise. You made me feel like I was all you'd ever need. But every smile was laced with lies. You twisted truth so I couldn't see. You push, you pull, you break me down. With every word you keep me bound. I'm tied to this pain, can't understand. Caught in the grip of a trauma bond. You're the storm in the shelter, the poison in the cure. I'm addicted to your chaos even though I'm never sure. Breaking the chains but they pull me back again. A heart that bleeds still believes in the end. I'm chasing shadows of who you pretend to be. Locked in a cycle, but I can't set myself free. I'm stuck in this game like a slot machine, pulling the lever for something rare. A kiss, a kind word, it's never enough, but I keep playing, hoping you'll care. Every spin makes me lose a part, but once in a while you'll hand me your heart. I know it's a trick, I know it's a lie, yeah. I keep on hoping, don't know why. You're the storm in the shelter, the wound in the disguise. I'm holding on to ashes, still blinded by your lies. Breaking the chains, but they pull me back again. A heart that bleeds still believes in the end. I'm chasing shadows of who you pretend to be. Locked in a cycle, but I can't set myself free. Like a roller coaster, I'm stuck on this ride. High so sweet, then a heart stop and drop. One moment I'm flying, feeling alive. The next I'm crashing, praying it'll stop. You lift me up just to tear me apart, playing with every beat of my heart. I'm dizzy from the ups and downs, but somehow I'm still strapped in, still bound. You're the storm in the shelter, the poison and the cure. I'm addicted to your chaos even though I'm never sure. Breaking the chains, but they pull me back again. A heart that bleeds still believes in the end. I'm chasing shadows of who you pretend to be. Locked in the cycle, but I can't set myself free. Breaking the chains, but they pull me down. How do I escape when you're still around? Breaking the chains, but I can't get away. Maybe someday I'll break them and stay.